Monday Night Raw Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Monday Night Raw, Smackdown, and or PLEs. And these hot takes need to be hot because I am cold. I'm playing that game that I play every winter. How long can I last before I turn on the heat? Because I am poor. All right, let's get started and heat things up with Giorgio. Why they didn't reveal the Mystery Man and Survivor Series. All right. And Alfonso Passion says, honestly, I think it's a missed opportunity not revealing the masked man coming out of a PLE. People tuned in to see it. Yes, I agree. Who was this masked man? Now, I get the idea of just dragging it out a little because it builds suspense and the payoff could be awesome. But I don't know. I remember when we didn't know who the masked man was of the higher power of Undertaker. It was me, Austin. It was me. I mean, that was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you, because it was so obvious that it was Vince McMahon. And remember the Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill got pushed onto the car. That was actually, the payoff was great and amazing, but the problem was they dragged it out way too long to the point that it's like there were parts where it just seemed like they totally forgot about the story in general. So I don't know. It's like, if done well, then it would be great. But WWE usually doesn't do it well. Granted, like I said, the Naomi thing definitely paid off, but there were months of the story just completely dropped, and I don't want that to happen. We did tune in to see who the masked man was, and this is a tired trope of Triple H. Jimmy Uso's been the masked man. Becky Lynch has been the masked man, and now we got this guy, whoever it is, as well. So I really do think they should have just revealed it, because why wouldn't the masked man want to be revealed? Let's really dissect that for a second. It doesn't make any sense. What if it was Seth freaking Rollins? Why wouldn't Seth just pull off the hood and reveal himself and say, ha ha ha, I cost CM Punk the match? No, he would want to do it and get the glory. Okay, so let's say now it's maybe some more a rookie guy, someone that's trying to join the Vision, like Austin Theory or even Santo Escobar. You might be laughing about it being Santo Escobar, but WWE paid that dude a lot of money to get rehired. Santo Escobar actually said, no, I'm good. I'm going to go elsewhere. And WWE tracked him down and re-signed him anyways. So that means Santo Escobar was probably in a good position to say, I'll re-sign if I get a good push. I'm thinking it's Austin Theory. Austin Theory was rumored beforehand to be joining the Vision before Seth got injured. They do have a history. So, with the Monday Night Messiah and everything, there's just a lot of upside to rebuilding Austin Theory as part of the Vision. That said, let's assume it's one of them, because either could fit in the criteria of taking kind of somebody who hasn't been pushed and instantly thrusting him into a main event spot. So whether it's Austin Theory or Santo Escobar, why wouldn't they instantly reveal themselves? It's okay if they just took it upon themselves to get involved in the match and Paul Heyman didn't know anything about it, but why wouldn't they reveal themselves the next night? Why wouldn't they go up to Paul Heyman and say, hey, Paul, it was me. I want to join the Vision. Why would they try to wait it out? They gain nothing with the Vision if they don't strike while the iron's hot. Hey, I helped you out. Now help my career out. So it doesn't make sense that the masked man, if they were trying to vie for a spot in the Vision or just in the main event in general, for them not to reveal themselves the next night on Raw. The other option that's been thrown around is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho currently is in AEW. Well, he signed to AEW, but he's been off TV for a minute now. His contract does come up by the end of December. So if we could just extend this storyline, it could be Chris Jericho. I know, you're going to be like, oh, but the body type is not the same. Don't matter. As long as it's a hooded figure, it could be anyone. They could just, it just doesn't matter storyline wise. They won't care. They won't care if the body type isn't exactly the same. They can instantly just pivot to somebody and make it like Chris Jericho. And now Chris Jericho is revealed, and he could even say, I couldn't reveal anything earlier because of unknown reasons, and we know it's because he was under contract. So they could literally go that route. I hope they don't go that route. I don't want Bron Breakker to fall under the tutelage of a veteran. I don't care if it's Jericho or any veteran at this point. Bron Breakker was so great last night, just unhinged by himself, the center of the vision, that it was great and amazing. And if Chris Jericho was the guy to help them last night, suddenly Chris Jericho would be the leader of the Vision again, and Braun would be taking orders, and I don't want that. And in regards to the body type thing too, like I said, if it's under the mask, it could be anyone. For all we know, it's Omos. Omos, he's back in the States, but I honestly think that Omos is probably Grande Americano, so Omos is probably ruled out as the masked guy in War Games, but I'm with you. Now, I will say this, though. I got this from Wrestle Talk. I'm stealing this from Wrestle Talk. Ali Davis said that they should have had Tozawa and Otis be the investigators, and we could have had funny scenes throughout the entire episode of Raw, and I actually agree with that. That would have been hilarious of Tozawa and Otis doing that. Maybe next week. If we're going to extend this, put Tozawa Otis as your lead detectives. That's Wrestle Talk if you want to catch that idea on their channel today. But yeah, missed opportunity. I don't think it makes sense that the person would not reveal themselves right here, right now, because it gains them nothing. It gains them nothing not showing their face the next night on Raw, unless it's Chris Jericho, because then you can say, I couldn't do it because of unknown reasons. All right, let's do some other hot takes. We got Goat Buggy say, I'm so happy that LA Knight, beat Jey Uso, and I guess Triple H is finally listening to the online hate. I hope Jey turns heel. I hope he turns heel too, or at least he turns into a more aggressive, less yeeting guy. I'll tell you what, I still hate when he did this during War Games, just took away and cut the tension of what they were building. I need more passion from Jey Uso. I need him to be... I'm okay with some yeets, but it's like it's a little too much sometimes. It's like a little too much, and I will be very happy if Jey starts crashing out and becoming a little more right-hand man than the yeet man. And LA Knight won. That was like, I thought we were getting Jey Gunther 6. Very, very happy. I'm confident that Gunther's going to win. I want LA Knight to win. I'm confident Gunther's going to win. Fingers crossed something changes. Nothing's done until it's done. So LA Knight, he still has a shot. People, make your voices heard. Let's get LA Knight, against John Cena. Gunther just doesn't need it. Gunther just doesn't need it. He's already a made man, so let's make another star in the process. Donatello Leonardo says, the fire in Bron Breakker's promo is what the current product is desperately lacking. It's beyond refreshing to see someone with such cojones talk on the mic. I agree. I loved Bron Breakker last night. Him and Liv Morgan was the shining star. There was a lot of good things that happened last night. It wasn't epic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Bron Breakker rose above it all. I know some people were like, oh, his voice cracked, or he went a little off the rails a couple times. Honestly, I liked it. I liked that. It was different. I could tell the passion in his voice. He got so worked up. I think he did kind of trip over his words just a little, but to me, it added to that. It's very rare. It's very rare for someone to trip over their words and yet it to help and make the thing even more memorable and fantastic, but Bron Breakker has that. The last person that I saw that had that kind of unstableness to his promos that made it just even more chaotic and entertaining was that of his uncle, Big Papa Pump, holla if you hear me, Scott Steiner. And that's one of the things that made Scott Steiner such a legend, and Bron Breakker's the second coming. I loved how unhinged he was, and you are absolutely right. In this day and age of a sanitized WWE product, Bron Breakker is exactly what we need. Someone who will just completely go off the rails and just, I don't know, let his voice crack. Who cares? The guy has passion. He's believable, and he looks like he will murder you. Also says that that it was a good show, but the overbooked ending really soured me on considering how much they deserved a clean winner. I will usually always default to a clean winner. I will say at first when the Kabuki Warriors just came in and caused a double DQ right in front of the ref, not caring, it was like I did not like it. But by the time it was all said and done, and Bailey then came out with Lyra, but then the Judgment came out and Liv is standing tall, I'll say I did turn around and liked it. But yeah, if somehow there had been a winner, I don't even care if it was clean. If Asuka had spit in the face of Rhea or Charlotte, I would have been fine with that as well. But yeah, so no clean winner. That sucked. But Liv standing tall and showing that Roxanne is now a full-fledged member by Liv handing the belt to Roxanne Perez, that was cool. So, like, mixed feelings, but overall, I was fine with it. David LaCour says, good show tonight, but Braun's promo was definitely the highlight of the night. I can see him ending up way more over than Rick or Scott were, even when they were at their best. Yeah, maybe. I can see it. He's definitely gonna, when it's all said and done, I think he will outshine his dad, Rick Steiner, but it's gonna be hard to eclipse Scott. But you know what? He's off to a good start. Bron Breakker. Man, I love that guy. Man, I loved Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner brought a tiger one time to the ring. All my freaks, holla if you hear me. Programmed for damage. Hot crowd tonight. Really elevated Raw. I understand the reason for the main event ending, but it wrecked my enjoyment of the match. That's a good way of putting it. I understand the reasoning, but wrecked the enjoyment. Hopefully everybody else involvement after got some of that enjoyment back for you. And yeah, it was a good crowd. Very good crowd. I understand why it was a little awkward for them to start, get into the solo Gunther match because it's both heels, but eventually they even got into that. And yeah, decent crowd. Wherever you were at, I forget where they were at yesterday, but wherever you were at, good job. Get them another show. Goat Buggy says, I really hope Raquel Rodriguez don't just go back to being Liv's sidekick because she's too good for that. I agree. Very happy that Liv is back, but Raquel Rodriguez to me was like Kevin Nash, Diesel to Shawn Michaels. At first, a good sidekick, but eventually Diesel became his own man. I think Raquel Rodriguez is her own woman right now, and I think it's a good call that Liv is going to go after Stephanie Fakir, and Raquel and Roxanne can go after the tag team titles. They can be united in a common goal of strengthening the Judgment Day, but Roxanne Perez, to me, she has flown while Liv was gone. Let Raquel mentor Roxanne now and let Liv and Raquel be more equals. Obviously higher on the pecking order is Liv, but more equals nonetheless. Fazarupu says Jey Uso losing was the best thing that happened tonight. 4 letters, 1 word, lost. I like Jey Uso. I'm not gonna lie. I like Jey Uso, but I am glad he lost because A, I want LA Knight to win. B, I think it furthers his character. A win really wouldn't have done much, and not many people other than Rikishi wants to see Jey versus Gunther 6. FMJ says they're a little too late with the Jey Uso crash out. Should have happened when he was tied to the ropes and forced to watch his brother get jumped. I think you're talking about, when his brother got jumped? Was that you're talking about the Gunther before Gunther Jey 4, 5? I'm not sure what 4. Are you talking about the WrestleMania build? The crash out? I'm fine with the crash out of happened, but I do agree that it was too late. War Games got I think it got in the way of the story that they were being told, because suddenly Jey just became the Yeet Man again, and now he's crashing out again after War Games. That's another reason why War Games shouldn't happen unless the story dictates it. I really feel that once War Games happened, it put a pause on everything. Even Roman Reigns said, I don't want to see you again until Christmas, but then he came back in November. So yeah, the crash out, I'm okay with the crash out happening within the last 2 or 3 months, but War Games did kind of detour it in a bad way, honestly. But that said, we're back to here, and it's way more interesting. It adds layers to his character, so I'm glad we're back to it at least. RKO619 says Liv Morgan came back for the first time in months, and then she says a whole lot of nothing and absolutely buried the whole Liv versus Roxanne drama. Like, what are we doing here? So, yes, that did get buried. I don't think it got buried. More so, maybe it got squashed. We're not going that route. I thought we were going that route too. I'll be honest. I thought we were just going to repeat what we did in 2024 where Dom got with Liv and basically kicked out Rhea. I thought we were going to do Dom gets with Roxanne and we kick out Liv. But I'm okay with this route as well. Doesn't look like you like this creative direction, and that's fine. But I think Liv showed a very, very dominant performance. Whether or not you like the fact that we're no longer going Liv versus Roxanne Perez storyline, and that's just kind of gone. Her doing nothing. She said the Judgment Day are going to be strong again. She invaded the women tag team division with Roxanne and Raquel. She squashed her beef with Roxanne by handing her the tag title, and she went up to Stephanie Vakir and was like, yeah, I'm kind of coming for you. So, like, the Roxanne story feud aside, to me, she did a lot. She had a great performance last night to me about Judgment Day and kind of showing that she's in charge of Judgment Day at this point. Dirty Dom has an argument for co-leader, but I think it's more Liv than Dom. Eric says, thought this was supposed to be epic. It was good, but far from epic. So last night, there was a lot of people, Triple H said, this is going to be epic, tonight's Raw. And a lot of people started latching onto that, wondering when and how is it going to be epic. Now, there were really cool moments, but was it epic? No. Did I enjoy it? Completely 100% yes. I will say that in my one take one shot yesterday, I said, you know what? Bookers are always going to say things are going to be epic. No one's going to go online and say, hey, this Raw is going to be okay. I do understand. I know, I'm pretty sure Ron Talks Tabletop said something in another video, another comment saying, no, you can't. Words have meaning. Words matter. And you shouldn't just go and say things are going to be epic. You have to deliver if you're going to say that. And that makes a lot of sense. That really does. So I will say that Triple H, he probably should have said it was going to be epic. It raises expectations. Literally, if he would have said nothing yesterday, I think even more people would have liked last night because they were looking for something epic to happen when I think a lot of good storytelling happened. But nothing epic. That doesn't take away my enjoyment, but I can understand people were just kept waiting for something epic to happen. I mean, we didn't even reveal the masked guy, for crying out loud. So I get it. Triple H, he should have said that. He should not have said it's going to be epic, even though I gave it an 8 out of 10. I liked it. I really enjoyed last night's Raw. Metal Talk says, extremely excited to see the direction they go with Jay, but can they just have him turn heel already? We already have Randy. We don't need another. So Randy kind of just, I don't think Randy really has been hinting at a heel turn other than every once in a while he looks at the title. But you are right. We can't have Jay coming out eating and being all smiles and then at the end of every match just being crashing out. It's just like, all right, it's time to crap or get off the pot with this Jay heel turn here. Again, I think it's the War Games thing that happened that has kind of like muddied up the water of Jay's heel turn. So hopefully in the next, like, I would say 4 weeks at the latest, we have to go full in on this storyline. Ron Talks Tabletop says, January 5th, Raw ladder match for the women's tag team titles. Ooh, boy, howdy, that would be amazing. We could also do Royal Rumble, but I think you're right. I think a women's tag team ladder match, on the first Raw of the year, that would be even better, because then we don't have to drag it out. And we could totally do that. Good call. I would love to see that actually at a WrestleMania, but WrestleMania is way too far to keep this kind of where we're at. With what happened last night, WrestleMania is way too far out to keep the story going that long. January 5th would be a perfect opportunity for a big old ladder match. Sabin Soko says, I turned off Raw after the Gunther match. You don't like Gunther? Or you? I really like Solo Sikoa. I really like that match, but I like Gunther too, so I don't know what to tell you. So, okay, hopefully LA Knight wins. So I'm with you on LA Knight winning if that's the case, that you don't like Gunther. Kicking it with Leo says, I think with the tease WWE did tonight with Liv and Stephanie, I think this feud should be for WrestleMania. This would be a great follow-up for her making her return. It would be a good feud, but honestly, I don't want it to last that long. I don't like these teases. If we're going to tease Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes right now for WrestleMania, I don't think any other feud should be teased for WrestleMania, to be honest with you. I would much prefer Liv beats Stephanie for the title, Raquel Rodriguez wins the Royal Rumble, and those two fight at WrestleMania. That, to me, would be cool, because then we have Shawn versus Diesel all over again, but in female form. I want that, actually. So, but you heard, it would be a great WrestleMania matchup. It would be Liv versus Stephanie, but I would just prefer Liv versus Raquel. Tiz Mickey says, I've seen enough. Give Braun the championship. Holy crap, you're right. I'm with you, Tiz Mickey. Give Bron Breakker the championship. I don't care if the plan was to have CM Punk with the championship at WrestleMania. I'm telling you right now, last night proved that he can go and he deserves it. It would freshen so many things up if Bron Breakker won that title. He had that title. Have CM Punk go do something else. I don't care. Bring back Chris Jericho. Have those two fight. But Braun, I need him with that championship. God, he was so entertaining. It would be so refreshing to have someone under 30 even as champion, but someone under 30 that had that kind of charisma and chaoticness to him. Loved it. Chris Gutierrez says, why was the king slapped? Liv Morgan just slapped Dominic Mysterio and then jumped in his arms and kissed him. You know what? Different strokes for different folks, I guess. So, okay, go for it, guys. In the mortal words of R-Truth, I don't even know if that's PG. All right, we then got Tracy Woods. Raw was good tonight. I have a confession. I went over to the dark side by adding ESPN to my Disney membership for Survivor Series. Everyone shun her. Shun. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. You are not alone. I know Bishop Marley did as well. So, you do you. I'm not going to shame you for doing it. I'm going to still call out WWE for making people pay so much money. So whenever I say that WWE or TKO is the evil empire for forcing people to pay for ESPN and stuff, don't feel guilty at all. I'm not victim blaming you. I'm guilt shaming the greedy people at TKO. So I don't blame you. I personally, I don't want to watch Raw on my computer. I wouldn't want to watch Raw on my computer anyways, but because I stream, I have to watch it. So a VPN is very convenient for me. But if I wasn't streaming, then I don't know. Maybe I would get all the services, because I would want to watch Raw in the comfort of my living room. So I do understand. CGX Per Boss says it was a good Raw. Lots of needles had moved. Yeah, lots of storylines did progress. Thumbs up. Game Starter says Braun actually cut a good promo. He is ready, but he will not beat Punk on the 5th. I don't think he'll beat Punk either, but I'm really hoping that he does. I hope I'm wrong. I want him to win. He cuts a great promo. Loved his promo. The Mexican Wolverine, whoever does Bailey's and Lyra's makeup needs to get fired. Both are tanned, and they give them yellow foundation, making them look cheap. I don't know. I honestly, makeup is not my forte. Okay, so what does everybody think? Was the makeup on Lyra and Bailey, was it too much? Was it not right? So like comment below if you noticed. I could go look at it right now, and I'll be honest with you, I have no opinion on that subject. Not good, not bad, not nothing, and I'll just have to take your word for it. Huffing and Puffing says, it's so refreshing to have Liv back. She shakes things up in a way that is unique for the women's division. Can't wait for her and Naomi, can't wait for Naomi to return and have them in the women's division at the same time. Yes. Could you imagine Naomi, Liv, Chelsea Green, all these like chaotic people in the division? By the way, Naomi did announce that it is a boy, so that officially we have our next tribal chief getting lined up right now. Congratulations, both Big Jim and Naomi. Proceed with caution. Parenthood can be a wild but rewarding life. Jimbo Slice says, if you needed any more convincing that Braun is the future, you got it tonight. Good Lord. This guy is going to be running the business until my unborn children are in college. I'm hoping that he's not the future. Honestly, I hope Bron Breakker's not the future. I hope he's the present. I want him to be the present and the future. Well, so I guess, yeah, I still hope he's the future. I hope he's the future and the present. Let's not wait any longer. Major Mario says, so the women's tag team division is now the hottest division? What a long way. Shout out to the women who have elevated the division these past months. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy when you develop characters, and then you give them airtime and storylines. Suddenly the division is crazy and hot. Oh, by the way, Asuka. I want Asuka, Naomi, Liv Morgan, and Chelsea Green at the division on the same time. Woo! Fire. Rex Storm says, I'm happy that Bron Breakker felt that the masked man stole his spotlight. WWE never lets the heels look strong. Yeah, I'm glad that Bron Breakker brought it up. I'm glad that he brought it up, and he was like, I'm kind of mad because I was about to beat up CM Punk on my own, and then this masked man, maybe Batman, came in and was like, tried to take the spotlight, but no, it was still on me. So yes, I'm glad he referenced it. I don't like selective amnesia. We got TTJC. This might just have been my favorite Raw of the year. I love that they are actually building the women's tag team division and Judgment Day. Agreed. I don't think it was my favorite Raw of the year, but I do think that it was awesome and amazing that the women's tag team division is red hot, and so is the Judgment Day. Ooh, I gotta do 3 hot, 3 not. I guess you already know a couple of the people that's going to be on the hot list. Louis Belmont says, LA Knight getting the upset victory over Jey Uso was part of the catalyst for Jey to snap. My mind says Jey's a heel, and everyone can see it. Yes. Agreed. That is the catalyst. And it's sad that LA Knight winning is an upset, but I'll take it. Best roll-up of the year. Wrestling Sensei says, I seen the new tag finisher of AJ and Lee used, and people are dying over it. I thought it was amazing. What happened was Kofi was on the ropes. Dragon Lee did like a coup de grace on him, kind of, sort of, and he bounced into a Styles Clash. That was crazy. I loved it. I don't know if it's their finisher, though, but it did end the match last night. But when the Young Bucks used the same move, just with a sit-down powerbomb instead of the Styles Clash, people crapped on it. Don't you think that's kind of biased? What's your take on it? So I'll say this, it is kind of biased, but a lot of people might not know. A lot of people might not know what you're talking about. For one, let's just pretend this. Let's say in the past, I crapped on it. I didn't, because I don't know what you're talking about, but I can imagine from what you said. So let's just say I saw that move 3 months ago, and I was like, yeah, that's so fake, so this, so that. And then 3 months later, I come and say, yes, that was cool, that was great. And I don't acknowledge that once upon a time, I did not like moves that were kind of like this. So then yes, that would be biased. So it's only biased if the same exact person is crapping on one and not the other. I'm not biased because I never saw what you're talking about. Sounds cool though. But yeah, and that's the thing about it. You're generally only going to hear the most negative people on the the internet. So, like, the people who were crapping on it a couple months ago, those aren't probably the same people who are praising it right now. Because usually the people who crap on things, they don't praise nothing. They exist just to crap. But there are people who are just completely blind and biased, and that, I agree, wrong. Not cool. Daniel Kincher says, epic, good spots, but no, we are not going back to the same old Raw. Dumb beginning and the brawl at the end. So, epic, no. Good, yes. It's unfortunately never going to be the Attitude Era, Daniel. It's OTW. That vignette with Natty and Maxine was top tier production. Yes, that was really cool. Very unique, very different. I liked it. I wonder, are we getting Natty? Are we getting the Natty that fights on the independent scene? Or is this just Natalya again training Maxine Dupree? But good stuff. Loved it. Unique, very unique. Keith Calloway says, I'm tired of Liv Morgan already. You are in the minority here. I'm definitely not tired of Liv. I want more Liv Morgan, but you know what? She's a heel, so good. She's doing her job well if you are hating her. Oh, Ron Talks Tabletop, here we go. Good show last night, just not epic. Yes, I'm still on this. Words matter. Okay, so I already addressed it earlier, but yes, fair criticism. Charger says, I was talking to my friend saying how I can't wait to watch Raw to find out who the masked man was, and I'm pretty disappointed they didn't reveal him. Yeah, they didn't reveal him, and it wasn't even like they barely even focused on it at all. You would think Paul Heyman would be like really scratching his head, or Nick, or Adam Pearce. It just felt very like, oh, well, just the mask guy, just another day in the office. I really think they should have made it more of a big deal. Carbuncle says, Gunther versus Solo did not disappoint. There is something nice about a heel versus heel slobber knocker. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird at first, but eventually it got going and it became a great, fantastic match. Even the fans were won over in the audience. Loved it. My favorite part was when Solo hit his thumb behind his back and Tall Tonga was holding on to Gunther. It's like you're gonna get disqualified for your thumb. No, don't think so. I think it's a 7-foot guy holding your opponent. Hilarious stuff there. Solo Sikoa, so good. Jasper Von Chills, Braun's promo gave me goosebumps. The pure emotion in his voice was really hooking me, glued to the screen. Yes. Maybe that was scripted, but it became real to him in that moment, and that's when wrestling is at its best. Bron Breakker, amazing promo last night. And so, there you have it. Those are your hot takes for Monday Night Raw. Let me know what some of yours are in the comments below, and I will see you for tomorrow. Guess we're doing 3 hot, 3 not tomorrow, and then maybe I'll do my WrestleMania prediction video after the podcast on Thursday. See you, bye!